Okay, good evening, everyone. You can hear me okay? Okay, first item on the agenda is the closed session portion of the meeting. May I have a mover and seconder to go into closed session under the authorities as printed in the agenda?
Cam.
Councillor Tedesco, Councillor Muir. All in favor? Seeing all hands rising, motion is carried. Okay, is everybody ready? Okay, report from closed session. We discussed the 2022 Seniors Award, and we're going to be opening that up to the public to assist in selecting the 22 Senior of the Year, and also some potential litigation in closed session. Okay, the time being 7:04, I'd like to call this meeting to order. First, we have the traditional acknowledgement followed by a moment of silence. Council, the Township of Red Rock hereby acknowledges that we are on the traditional territory of the Robinson Superior Treaty, and that the land we gather on is home to the Red Rock Indian Band, the Anishinaabe, and the Métis people. Administration advises that there is an addition to the agenda under correspondence relating to a letter of support for the Fish and Game Club. I'd also like to add an addition to the agenda under new business relating to a contract agreement with Superior Country. Do any members of council wish to make any further amendments to the agenda?
I was wondering if I can add something to the agenda on No Mow May from the Environmental Committee. Just some discussion on, we have the bylaw that might have to be amended, just to give us some time before May. Some basic discussion.
Where would that go under new business?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay. Okay, can I have a mover and seconder for a motion to approve the agenda with the amendments? Councillor Muir, Councillor Park. All in favor? Motion is carried. Are there any declarations of interest to disclose?
Yes, I have a conflict of interest on item 6.8 for the annual traditional powwow sponsorship request.
Did you fill out a information form?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, there are no new presentations for tonight. Okay, the minutes of the last regular meeting, April 4th, are at items 5.1 of the agenda. Are there any errors or omissions to note in the minutes? Okay, seeing none, may I have a mover and seconder for a motion to approve the minutes of 5.1? Councillor Park, Councillor McDonald. All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Okay, first off, we have Fire Marshal Office. 6.1 is for information purposes only relating to the EMPCA compliance letter from the Office of the Fire Marshal. Do any members of council have any questions? Councillor Muir?
I just wanted to say good work on that. That's nice that we're all up to par on that. That's good to see all the hard work that the chief has done and everybody's done.
Yeah, they did a great job in a short period of time.
Yeah, thank you. Chief Petrie can't be with us this evening, but I will pass that message on to him. It's a big accomplishment for the Township of Red Rock to be compliant. It's been a while, but a lot of hard work went into it, and mostly by Chief Petrie. He did a great job to get us compliant. So thank you, Ryan.
Okay, next is 6.2 is information purposes only relating to the H5N1 flu. Do members of council have any questions? Okay, seeing none. 6.3, information purposes only relating to a news release from the province of Ontario regarding doctors in Northern Ontario. Do any members of council have any questions? As we know, they're expanding the program to allow more residents, so it's going to be great for our area. Next matter, 6.4, is information purposes only relating to a news release from the province of Ontario regarding economic development in Northwestern Ontario. Do any members of council have any questions? No, seeing none. Okay, 6.5, information purposes only relating to a news release from the province of Ontario regarding the twinning of Highway 1117. Do any members of council have any questions? Seeing none. It's going to be great, I know that. Okay, item 6.6 is for discussion purposes relating to the 2022 Live from the Rock Festival. Do any members of council have any questions? Councillor Muir?
Yeah, I was just wondering, so is council going to be looking tonight to make a decision on the donation of the land again?
Yeah, so what's in front of us is I guess a donate or a letter looking for donations. What would be recommended would be that.
Yeah.
How we normally do that is an in-kind donation. It puts us in the platinum level sponsor. So we know that what we contribute in kind to the festival is in excess of that level. It's what we've done traditionally in the past, and it's what we recommend moving forward if that's the will of council. So I would simply respond to them with that monetary we won't donate, but we will be in-kind sponsors at that level, which goes around $10,000 or plus, which, I mean, we do contribute our workforce, our summer students, our public works crew, rentals of the facilities at no cost, those kind of things. So it's definitely a contribution that we make as a municipality, and one that we would be looking for direction tonight on.
Okay, well, if you want, I'll put a motion in for a resolution for that, if I could.
Yeah, so there is a resolution ready to go for that. Yeah.
Awesome.
No, sorry. Just direction, sorry. It is, yeah, we did have one and it is just direction. So we can have that direction and bring that back.
Okay, moving on. 6.7 is information purposes only relating to the CP Rail Annual Vegetation Control Program. Do any members of council have any questions? Councillor Muir?
Yeah, so this is the same letter we got last year with regard to this process. And I know there was concerns brought forward with regards to the methods on how they did spray it. So I'm wondering this year if we could possibly look at maybe reaching out and finding out when they'd be coming through, just getting an estimated timeline of when they're coming through so we could have some people watch the process, if that's possible.
I can certainly reach out. That won't be a problem. I can reach out. I know it does give some information for residents to reach out if they so be it too, but I mean, important for us to reach out, and I can do that this week.
Okay, next item is 6.8, discussion purposes relating to the Red Rock Indian Band's annual traditional powwow. Now, do we want Councillor McDonald to leave the room, or she just doesn't respond?
The conflict is up to her. She can stay in the room and just not participate in the discussion. She can leave the room. That's totally up to her.
Okay. Okay, do any members of council have any questions?
Can I ask in the past what we donated?
From what I see, I don't think we were a donator in the past, but I would have to 100% confirm that.
So I think this is the 30th anniversary. I don't believe we've received a request for donations for the Powwow previously. That's my memory. I don't, but I believe it's because it's the 30th anniversary and it's going to be a very large gathering. So I mean, I'd be in full support of doing the $250. I mean, $250 I think is kind of a standard donation thing. I mean, that can start it off. We can negotiate from there.
I do recall us receiving requests before, but it's because we've been in COVID the last 2 years. That's probably why you don't recall it, but it is something that we didn't support financially. We usually stuck to Red Rock things, but I'm open to whatever the discussion is.
Mayor,
Councillor Tedesco.
where does this fall in terms of the time relative to the Live from the Rock Folk Festival? Does it overlap?
No, the Powwow is in July and Folk Fest is in August. About a month apart, or 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks.
Do you think that the Red Rock Indian Band would be interested in utilizing some of our services where we could do some in-kind donation as well? For example, the grounds here in Red Rock?
I believe they use their own land for their powwow, so that we don't really have anything in kind. I don't believe they would require, or I can't think of anything right now.
Can we find out if they might be interested in utilizing some of our land for their thing?
Okay, so maybe Mark, we can reach out to Red Rock Indian Band and see if we can get a little more detail on any in-kind that Red Rock can offer. And if not, then we'll bring it back to the next meeting with the donation amount. How does that sound with the rest of council? Or do you want to go with the donation amount?
I think I would be comfortable with just a donation amount. So if we could come to,
Yeah, myself as well.
I think it just gets too complicated, right? Yeah.
Okay.
But we certainly can reach out like with the donation, say, hey, by all means, we're here to help too, right?
For sure.
Okay, well, I'm comfortable with 150.
$250.
I'm comfortable with 250.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'll raise the hands for 250. Okay. Okay, so is there a mover and seconder for a motion to support the Red Rock Indian Band's 2022 annual traditional powwow in the form of a donation for the amount of $250? Councillor Muir, Councillor Park. Okay, all in favor? Motion is carried. Against, Councillor Tedesco? And abstaining, McDonald. Or conflict. Okay, moving on. For approval from council relating to a letter of support for the Red Rock Fish and Game Club on the restocking of restocking of Nipigon Bay or for economic purposes. Sorry. Do any members of council have any questions? Okay, is there a mover and seconder for motion to support the Red Rock Fish and Game Club restocking of Nipigon Bay initiative with a letter of support? Councillor Tedesco, Councillor McDonald. All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Okay, next item is 7.1 minutes from the Red Rock Public Library Board on March 15th, 2022. Do member of council have any questions? Okay, is there a mover and seconder to receive the minutes? Councillor Park, Councillor Muir? All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Okay, next item 8.1 is a report from the Director of Operations.
I will take any questions on Blair's report tonight, as he couldn't be with us. So if there's any questions, I can take this.
Councillor Muir?
Yeah, I just saw number 6 there, the safety meeting on 28th, workplace walkthrough. That's super good work. Just pass that on if you could. Like to.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, is there a mover and seconder to receive the report? Councillor McDonald? Councillor Tedesco? All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Okay, next is item 8.2, report from the fire chief. He's not there today, so any questions can be directed to Mr. Figlemini. Councillor Muir?
Yeah, just did you get any more information on the mandatory certification?
Yeah, so we did. Ryan will update council at our next meeting. He's putting together a report based on that. What I can report is that the rollout is not near as significant as it was and looked like it was going to be. He'll have a full report at our next council meeting, but it looks like we will be in an okay situation moving forward. There has been some changes that they have made after meetings with municipalities and fire chiefs. So again, we'll let Chief Petrie put that together, maybe even as early as next meeting if he goes out of sequence. He was required to be at training tonight, so we will get an update for council, but it definitely does not look like it's going to be as significant as it once was. That's for sure.
Okay, any other questions, comments? None? Okay, is there a mover and seconder for a motion to receive the report? Councillor Muir, Councillor Park, all in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Okay, 8.3, report from Community Development Officer. Do any members of council have any questions of Ms. Davis? Maybe Ashley, you can just give a couple of highlights out of your report.
Sure, I can do that. So the main highlights are things are progressing nicely with the ICIP Green project. So that's the Brompton complete rehabilitation of water and sewer. They are expected to be starting the end of May, early June. So that's when construction is going to be starting there. Relining is going to be taking place roughly May 30th to June 13th. And Brompton will be the end of May right until October. By the time that project is completed, the roads are paved and ready to go. So notices are going out to the residents in the next couple of weeks. So by May 1st, the impacted residents will have those notices with how they're going to be impacted with an approximate schedule of interruption of services. The next big one is our assisting the Golden Club with an application for the Rural Transit Solutions Fund. So this is the new handy accessible van. I assisted with the application, working with them. And just to kind of, we are considered a partner in that application because the municipality contributes approximately $18,000 of in-kind hours by staff assisting with booking and scheduling. So as an in-kind contribution, we are considered a financial partner. So that application is hopefully going to be successful for them. This is an 80% funded program for the Golden Club, which is huge for them. So fingers crossed that they get a new van. And there's a couple other partners. The Rotary Club of Nipigon was also going to be contributing towards that project, and then Fundraising Initiatives. And so we've wrapped up our RV park and campground market focused business case. So I'm working on the final reporting of that. Our strategic planning has gone incredibly well. They were really impressed with the amount of community involvement. They don't normally see that kind of involvement, especially in a small town. So in summary, we had 77 online surveys completed, 67 participants in person with the focus groups, 25 one-on-one interviews, and 37 participants in the working groups. So they were quite impressed with that. With item N, Destination Northern Ontario is completing an application to develop its own program specifically for Northern Ontario trails wayfinding, to get people off the highways to smaller communities to their trails, as well as developing their trailheads with safety information, general wayfinding signage, where amenities are in relation to the trails, in recognition of how much money trail users put back into the local and regional economy. So I'm looking for direction from Council in the support of the Township of Red Rock, or the Township of Red Rock support for Destination Northern Ontario's application for the Northern Ontario Trails Wayfinding Program.
I'm in full support of it.
And then the final piece is the Superior Picnics Program. So that's in partnership with Superior Country and the Lake Superior North Shore Tourism Project. So this project last year was the pilot year. So the local restaurants create a dish that's an easy takeout and then they provide recommended picnic spots where you could take your meal and enjoy an attraction across the North Shore. So there are 8 communities involved. As part of this project, communities contributed $300 and they purchased picnic tables. So we'll have a designated picnic table in Red Rock that will have a Superior Picnics Program plaque on it. So the $300 Red Rock put towards this project in collaboration with the other communities came to $3,100, leveraging an additional $44,000. So that's pretty cool that we can leverage that amount through marketing, product development, supporting our local businesses, and hopefully bringing people to Red Rock. So any questions on that?
Councillor Muir?
Yeah, thanks again. I was very, very impressed with that RV demonstration they had. It was amazing, honestly. Like that whole plan is phenomenal. And I was extremely impressed with the sessions that we had. Like honestly, professionalism, and I think that this is probably one of the best things this town has ever had, that strat plan. It's bringing everyone together. It's giving direction of where we need to go, where we all want to go. It is the best thing that's happened to this town. It'll be the best thing. So it'll be nice if we can get that all wrapped up, and then 10 years from now, look back and say, remember that plan? Because I think we're going to get there for sure.
So in 2006, the community did adjusting our sales, and a fair bit of what has happened since then has been accomplished. There are a few outstanding issues, but at least things are kind of in the process of taking some of those initial ideas and then also reevaluating them to see if they're relevant. So the final strategic plan will be presented to council the first meeting in June. And then we'll be able to start implementing it.
Okay, Ashley was looking for direction on the support letter. Are we all in favor for the trail? Yes, okay. Sounds good. Okay, is there a mover and seconder for motion to receive the report? Councillor McDonald? Councillor Muir? All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Thank you, Ashley. Okay, next item is 8.3, report from, oh, nope. 8.4, report from administrative, on administrative activities. Do any members of council have questions of Mr. Figlamini? Councillor Muir?
The result 94%. You got 94% of it done, or you got 94% total?
Yeah, that was the total, Mark. I was a little disappointed,
There you go.
but it's done. Yes, that portion is done. So that would be unit 1 is done. Thank you.
Any other questions on his report? No, seeing none. Is there a mover and seconder for a motion to receive the report? Councillor Park? Councillor Muir? All in favor? All hands rising. Motion is carried.
Maybe.
Okay, item 8.5 is a report of council staff relation policy. Do members of council have any questions of Mr. Figlamini? We've all looked at it, and I think some wording we'd like some changes on, or Councillor Muir, I think you had your hand up.
Yeah, I just was looking at like comparing it to some other stuff, just the guiding principles. I think just that section just needs a little bit of cleanup. That would be it.
Yeah, and we can definitely bring that back. We'll look at that wording. We'll have those discussions, and we'll bring that back again. It's one of those policy pieces that came out of our meeting with Municipal Affairs and Housing. So at this point, we'll look at that wording and we'll bring it back to the next council meeting if that's the direction of council.
Yeah, I think that's great. Any other questions or comments? Okay, there's no new bylaws to pass. Okay, new business. Okay, 10.1 is an addition to the agenda for a contract agreement with Superior Country. Is there a mover and seconder for a motion to approve the contract agreement between the corporation of the Township of Red Rock and Superior Country? Councillor Park? Councillor Muir? All in favor? All hands rising. Motion is carried. And the other item is, I forget what it was called, May Day or Mo Day?
No mow May.
No Mo.
No mow May. So the purpose of No Mow May is to encourage homeowners to mow less in order to help increase pollinators. So in order for this to happen, our current bylaw standards, we have a bylaw like your grass has to be mowed if it's, a certain height. So we wanted to bring this in earlier rather than later so that we can get time to get that bylaw revised to say, like, we'll give a grace period between, the month of May for those people that want to participate in the No Mow May. And then we could, do something on Facebook or just to promote it. let the bees live. You know.
So Mark, we would have to bring that policy to the next meeting and have an amendment, but then just support.
Yeah, I guess if it was the direction of council, we would look at that bylaw and look at the required amendment to the bylaw based on the regulations for that month.
Right, okay. Is council, is that the direction council wants to take? Councilor Muir?
Yeah, I was just thinking, I was gonna make a joke about the snow, but the reality is like we could still have snow halfway through May at this point in time. So the reality is like the pollinating season might even be into June. You know what I mean? By the time we start getting flowers, because we're on an off year here, so maybe we just have no more May and June just to be safe. Already? Okay, I'll pick them. And okay, yeah, like because I could see like the dandelions maybe showing up, I don't know, a little later. I don't know. We just stretch.
Well, I think if it's called No Mow May, then I mean, we should just stick to the month of May. Otherwise, we're gonna be varying each year to year, right? We don't want to have to keep bringing this policy back. So if it's just
Oh, true enough.
an exception in
Yeah.
that policy that, if there's a grace period if you don't want to cut your grass this month
Yeah, true enough.
to support this.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Any
can
other
look at exactly what that requires. That might just be an amendment to something, but just a temporary amendment as well. But we can look at that for sure.
Okay. Unfinished business. 11.1 to 11.4. Any members of council have any questions?
The only thing I would touch on is if we had discussed the town hall meeting. We did put some projected dates there that if we looked at that week of May 9th and or the week of May 23rd, if we wanted to put on a session like that for the public, and I guess what we would need is availability of those times and kind of as we move forward, we could discuss agenda items or where we wanted to go with that.
So here's my question, since it's an election year, should that be like an all candidates night? I feel like, is that an unfair advantage? I don't know if I think it's fair.
Well, it's a great point. It could be one of two things. It could be an unfair advantage. It also could be either way, right? When you look at that. So yeah, the timing with where we have been with the pandemic, it's a good point. It's also something we've been talking about for a while, but realistically, it's a really good point because we would generally have, and the plan would be to have a full candidates night based on the election. So again, yeah, it's one of those things that it may not be the greatest timing, and again, that's a decision of council. I think it's something that you should do annually, if not at least. But it does pose a good question around timing this year, and the direction was to plan that. But I certainly would change that direction based on that premise if that was the direction of council.
Councilor Mayor?
Yeah, no, I really wanted to have a town hall meeting, but Councillor Park is like 100% correct. It's like 5 months out and it doesn't make sense for us to do that. So yeah, maybe a candidates meeting in a couple months and go from there. And then you could take the last time we did the candidates meeting, it was just open 2.5 minutes, I believe everyone had, and then they had a secondary time to come back. So I don't know, but something.
Yeah, and we're definitely looking, obviously, with the turn of this month, May 1st, nomination period opens for the election, and we will get busy. Whitney and I have been going through those documents. We're getting it all the time now on direction and where we go on deadlines. So Yeah, it's one of those things that we will definitely plan, as long as we're in the current situation we are, where we can gather in some numbers, where we will have a candidates night prior to that, and based on those type of structures. So that's probably a great comment and a great direction to go.
Any other questions or comments? So we'll delay it, obviously, until the new, after the election, to make it fair, so people don't think that, you know, if any of us are running this year, we have an unfair advantage over anybody else who wants to run. Does that sound right? Yeah, okay. Okay, any other questions or comments on Mark's report? Okay. The paper's all over, sorry. Okay, next is the bylaw to confirm proceedings of council. Can I have a mover and seconder for motion to pass the bylaw? Councillor Tedesco? Councillor McDonald? All in favor? All hands rising, motion is carried. Time being 7:39. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.